Hello, this is Christina here at the Stage Nature Center. I'm about to do a program on wildlife babies. We'll get started here in just a moment. I'm going to wait just a couple minutes here, give people a chance to join, and we'll get started here in just a minute. Hello again, this is Christina here at the Stage Nature Center. I'm here to do a Facebook program on wildlife babies. We'll get started here in just a moment. Hi, this is Christina here with the Stage Nature Center, here to talk about wildlife babies. And I hope you all are doing well. It's nice to see you today. It's a beautiful day outside. It's supposed to get pretty warm today, so for those of you that like the heat, you can enjoy the heat out on the trails. But I am here at the Stage Nature Center to actually today is our first day that we have reopened since the closure due to the COVID-19 outbreak, and we have reopened today. We reopened at 9 a.m. this morning, so I am excited that we are able to do that. If you feel like you want to come on visit, definitely do that. We have the trails have been open and they still remain open, but the building is open right now as well, and you can come join us and see our exhibits inside, which we have updated the exhibits. So that way it's fresh and new, And when you come back to visit, if you've been here before, get to see something new. And if it's your first time, hopefully you'll enjoy your visit here. So we will be open today, or the building will be open until 3 p.m. So we have resumed normal operating hours for the building, Tuesdays through Fridays, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m., and Saturdays from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. So that's with the Stage Nature Center here in Troy, Michigan. The trails are open dawn to dusk. We have made a few changes as far as procedures for if you come to visit us in the Nature Center. We are asking people to wear face masks to be on the safe side. We are also asking people to keep 6-foot social distancing. We are keeping the building to a maximum of 10 people inside. So if you come and there's already a lot of people inside, you may have to wait to come inside. But again, that's to keep a safe social distance for everybody. We have closed the children's areas. I know those are really popular, the Mastodon dig and the costumes, but obviously that's going to be really hard for us to keep sanitized, and we want everybody to be safe. So for right now, those areas are closed, but our exhibits are open. Our live animal exhibits, some of you may have met our live animals here on Facebook throughout the past few months as I've been doing these live Facebook programs. And you can also, again, go out on the trails. So if you do want to come and go out on the trails and not come inside the building, you can do that. You're most welcome to go out on the trails and skip coming inside. Normally when the COVID is not going on during our open hours, we ask people to come through the building before going through the trail. But right now, you can just go straight on the trails if you don't feel comfortable coming inside the building. We are also going to be resuming our live programs. So with, again, some restrictions in place. And the first live program that we'll be doing in person will be the Owl Tour this coming Friday. So I believe that one may already be booked up. We're limiting those programs to 10 people again. So for right now, our registrations are going to be tight because we're trying to keep them to small groups. But you can go onto our website, stagenaturecenter.org, and learn about all the programs that we have coming up. Also on our Facebook page here, we have those programs on here as well. And I will continue to do these live programs through the end of June. So that way, those of you that are still hanging out at home waiting a little bit longer and want to still connect with us, we can do that this way. So I have added, there is a donate button here. So we definitely appreciate donations. We are a nonprofit organization and we rely very heavily on our programming, which we haven't been able to do. So if you have it in your means to donate, please feel free to do that here or on our website, stagenaturecenter.org. Thank you to everybody who has donated. We appreciate everybody's support, and we continue to appreciate everybody's support. So thank you if you've done that, and thank you in advance if you are going to donate. All right, well, today we're going to be talking about wildlife babies. It is that time of year. Actually, it's been that time of year for the past month or so. The babies of different animals are coming out, and we can see them. Part of the reason I wanted to do this program is because we get a lot of phone calls asking about what people should do when they see different types of wildlife babies. Sometimes people think maybe an animal is abandoned, maybe it's hurt, maybe it got separated from its mom or something like that. So we're going to talk about some of these things today so that way you have a better idea of what to do when you see an animal baby. And then I will take questions. Please feel free to put your questions in the comments here, and I'll do the best that I can to answer them during the presentation. If I don't see your question during the presentation, or if for some reason I am not able to see the comments, I will definitely answer your questions after the end of the presentation. I'll go back through and answer those questions. So I'm going to go ahead and switch the screen back over here to a picture of deer. This is a doe and its fawn. This is actually a picture I took a couple of years ago. That's obviously one of the one of the most common animals people think of when they are concerned about finding wildlife and babies in their backyard. Let's see here. Oh, I see somebody commented saying that they think that they had a fawn in their front yard yesterday. So yes, it's very possible that you had a fawn in your front yard. People are seeing them all over the place. It's definitely that time of year. And of course, the biggest concern for a lot of people is that that these fawns are abandoned, which most of the time is not the case. We'll talk a little bit more about fawns here in just a little bit. I have some videos to show you, and we'll get to learn a little bit more about fawns. But it's not that uncommon to see fawns in your yard or around your house. And sometimes animals, is one of the things we're going to talk about today, sometimes animals leave their babies or they make their nests where we don't seem to think is the best place, which to us it may not seem the best place, but to that animal it often is the best place. So we'll talk about that today here as well. I'm going to switch the screen here to the first video that we are going to watch. Let's see here. So a lot of you probably have robins around your house. They are very common. And we have a nest right outside our back door here, right above our area where we have benches near our wildlife feeders. So I was able to get some video of this robin family. These are very common to see around our houses. Sometimes they put them in very precarious places, like sometimes they put them maybe above a light, or I've known people who have even said that they've seen them in their wreaths, if they have a wreath hanging on their door. Sometimes they'll put them in their planters. It looks like this mom robin was feeding the babies a worm. So robins do definitely leave their babies in a lot of interesting, or do their nests in a lot of interesting places. And for the most part, even though the nest might not seem like it's in a great place, for them it's fine. Now, we do have laws here in the United States that protect birds and their nests, native species of birds, like the robin, that even if they put a nest in a place that you don't like very much, you're actually not allowed to move the nest or disturb it. So that's a law here in the United States. So if you have a nest somewhere around your house that maybe you're not crazy about, you're just going to have to give it some time until those babies get old enough that they leave the nest. And when they leave the nest, we call those fledglings. Now, a lot of times people see baby robins and other types of baby birds when they have fledged from their nests. And a lot of times they'll hop around on the branches. Sometimes these babies will go to the ground as the parents are still feeding them, as their wings are getting stronger, as they're learning how to fly. So it's not uncommon to see baby birds on the ground. And sometimes people think that means if they see a baby bird on the ground, that means that it has fallen out of the nest or it has been abandoned, which is not always the case. So it's good if you see a baby bird around to observe it before you try to pick it up and take it somewhere, take it to a rehabilitator. Because a lot of times, like I said, as they're learning how to fly, they can be kind of clumsy. A lot of times they end up on the ground before they're fully flighted, and the parents are still coming back to them and feeding them. So if you watch them long enough and give them a little bit of distance, you might see the parents come feed them on the ground. Now, when I took this video of the robin, this was actually the day before they fledged. I thought this nest looked kind of full. You can see these babies are pretty big. There were 3 in there that I could see. And you could definitely tell they were getting ready to go. They were stretching their wings a lot. They were moving around a lot. You could tell that it looked like they were getting close to being ready to go. So I had a feeling it was going to be pretty soon after I took this video that they would start leaving the nest. And sure enough, the next day I came out here and there were no more babies in the nest. So they had fledged, probably hanging out on branches somewhere. We call those branchers when they are hanging out on branches and learning to fly and the parents are still feeding them. And then again, sometimes they do go to the ground. Now, after a really strong storm that has really high winds, sometimes they do fall out of the nest. And sometimes they do get injured and they need help. What's a good idea if you see a baby bird is to first observe it. You want to make sure that the parents aren't still around and aren't actually taking care of it. If it's bleeding and has an open wound, or if you know that it's been in a cat's or dog's mouth, or if it looks like it's covered in fly eggs, then you know immediately that that bird should probably be taken to a wildlife veterinarian or a rehabilitator. It's very important to call rehabilitators first before you just show up with them, because sometimes, like right now, I know several of them in the area are at capacity. Wild Wings is one that we refer a lot of people to, and they have over 100 babies right now, or 100 birds that I believe I heard is the case. And sometimes they just can't take anymore. And if you just leave them outside the facility, those birds could end up dying rather than trying to find them another place. So if you're trying to find a rehabilitator or a veterinarian, go on to Michigan Department of Natural Resources website and look for licensed rehabilitators. You must be licensed in the state of Michigan to legally rehabilitate most any animal, actually. Includes birds and mammals and reptiles. You have to be a licensed rehabilitator. So you go onto their website, look up those rehabilitators and see where they are located. And always call again beforehand, so that way they are prepared, and that way they can also ask you a few questions and make sure it's an animal that actually needs help. So there's a few different things to consider when you're trying to help an animal. But if you call the rehabilitator first, they're able to give you more information and help you to decide if that animal actually needs help. You're also welcome to call the Stage Nature Center and ask us those questions. We do not take animals here because we are not licensed rehabilitators, but we definitely can refer people to a licensed rehabilitator. So this bird is a house wren, another common bird that you can see around Michigan, even especially around our houses. And house wrens are pretty easy to get them to nest if you have a nest box up. So this is a nest box that is up in our wildlife area. I love their song. I was so excited to get the house wren song on video. You could see there a minute ago it was trying to pull in looked like some spider webbing into the nest. But one of the things I really enjoyed when I was videotaping this house wren was that every time it would get ready to go, before it would get ready to go, it would go to the top of the nest, sing, and then leave. I don't believe there were any baby house wrens in the nest yet. When I took this video, it looked like this house wren was still building the nest. So it was working really hard to get those sticks in the nest and build it and get it ready to hopefully have a nest. Now, what they also do is they will make several nests. So it's not a bad idea to have a couple boxes up around your house. One place they'll actually make a real nest, and the other one will be kind of like a fake nest. So sometimes you'll see them going in and out of two boxes. So these wrens that we have around the Nature Center, over the past few years, they have made a bird house out of our butterfly house that we have out in our rain garden here. I think maybe a woodpecker at some point put a hole in the side of that butterfly house, and the house wrens decided that they were going to nest in it. So for the past few years, they have built nests in both the butterfly house and the bird house that we have here in our feeding area. You can see this wren as it's trying to build its nest. Sometimes they get big branches and it's hard for them to get them inside, but they do work really hard at making their nests. And hopefully we'll get to see some babies here soon. And they can nest several times throughout the summer. I'm taking a moment here to check the page. I'm trying to get it to refresh. I thought I saw some comments, but I've got your comments up on another device, and it looked like it had frozen, unfortunately. So if you are asking questions or leaving comments, I don't see them right now. Hopefully I'll get that back up here soon. If I don't get to your questions right now, I will answer them after the program. Oh, I think I saw somebody ask in the comments earlier if Little Acorns is still going this week. And yes, it is. I apologize. I forgot that Little Acorns is tomorrow. It's a program that we are offering tomorrow. The Owl Tour will be the second program that we do since we've reopened, and that will be Friday. But yes, Little Acorns is still planned to happen. So like I said, I don't believe this nest box had any eggs in it. And actually these nest boxes that we have up are meant for bluebirds, but animals don't always nest in the box that you have intended for them. We are going to see some video here in just a little bit of bluebirds that are nesting here on the Sage Nature Center property, which is really exciting. Sometimes tree swallows will actually nest in bluebird houses, and tree swallows do have a darker bluish color that people often get confused for bluebirds. Bluebirds have kind of a more like a royal bluish color, like a lighter blue, than whereas tree swallows have more of a darker blue. And again, we'll see that here in just a little bit. Wrens are not very big birds. It's kind of hard to see here in this video the size. You don't have much to compare it to, but wrens are very small birds. But they do, I love their song. There's also another wren called a Carolina wren who has a very melodic song. It's a really pretty song. Okay. I'm just checking comments again. Again, I think my other device, the connection is really slow, so it's not updating the comments. So I apologize if I've missed any other questions so far. So another animal that we see around here with their babies are turkeys. And I actually, just on my way in to work here this morning, saw a turkey with some babies. It was in somebody's yard near the nature center, and it was kind of hard to say, but I would say she probably had 15 to 20 babies. This is a turkey that I saw last year that had babies around here at the nature center, and we do have a turkey nesting not far from the building right now. That we've been trying to keep that area nice and quiet for her, so that way she doesn't get too disturbed by all the noise and people moving around. So the turkeys, they'll start breeding in early spring, and after they scratch out their nest, they'll lay about 4 to 17 eggs, which the female incubates for about 25 to 31 days. So the one that's nesting not too far from the building here should be hatching those babies out pretty soon, because she's been on the nest for, I would say, at least 3 weeks. So it's very exciting to get to see them. As you can see, they're very, very tiny compared to an adult. Oops, oh, what happened? To an adult turkey. Oops. I apologize. Give me one moment here. Looks like I'm having an issue with with the presentation. Give me just a moment. I apologize. Give me just a moment. I don't know if you can still hear me. Seems like technical difficulties seem to be a common problem when I'm trying to do these Facebook programs. So you can give me just a second. Just having a little bit of trouble here with the presentation. Oh, goodness. I'm sorry. Give me just a moment. The presentation seems to be freezing up here. Okay, if you can hear me, I'm still here. If you guys can still hear me, I am still trying to get this presentation to unfreeze here. It has decided not to not to continue on. Oh. Okay, I don't know if you can all still hear me. I've got the other device up and I am seeing some comments come in. And the presentation is still frozen here, waiting for it to. I might have to restart my computer, which I think just happened the last time I did a Facebook program. Okay, unfortunately, I think I'm going to have to, if you can still hear me, I think I'm going to have to well, wait a minute. Let's see here. Okay. If you're still there, I am still trying to get this presentation reconnected here. Okay, can you all still hear me? Okay, if you can hear me, I am trying to get my presentation restarted. Um, okay. Okay. I'm waiting for the program to restart. Thank you for hanging in there with me if you are still here. We were talking about turkeys, and I had some pictures to show you. I'm trying to remember where I left off, but I was telling. I know I told you about the turkeys that we have. Oh, you can't hear me? Can you let me know if you can hear me now? So, um, if you if you can hear me, I'm going to tell you a little bit more about turkeys while I'm waiting for this presentation to cooperate. It looks like it's trying to think right now. I did restart it and hoping that it'll restart here soon. But so I was telling you about the turkeys, that saying that we do have a nest near the building that we hopefully will get to see hatch out pretty soon. The mom has been sitting on it for quite some time. So hopefully we'll get to see those babies soon. Okay, give me 1 second. My computer is trying to tell me something. Hopefully I can get it to do what I want it to do here. Let's see. Okay, I think we might be back in business. Let's see here. I'm going to try to see if okay. So the next picture, hopefully if you're seeing this okay, because it looks like that my presentation has gotten reconnected. Hopefully the next picture you'll see here in just a moment is a picture of just just the baby turkeys by themselves among the series of pictures that I was showing you. Somebody asked, do turkeys just sit on their eggs after last one is laid? So they all hatch together. Yeah, so when they lay their eggs, they don't lay them all together at one time. So when we first started seeing this turkey laying her eggs, she laid one egg towards the beginning of the day, and then it looked like she had laid a second egg, and then the next day there were 3 eggs. We kept our distance, but we checked, and it looked like she was laying eggs over the course of, I would say, maybe it was about a week or a little less than a week that she was laying eggs. So they'll lay all of their eggs first, and then they will sit on them to incubate them. So that's what the female turkey is currently doing right now, is that she is incubating the nest. So let me go to the next picture here. Okay, so this picture, I don't know if you can see the baby turkey, but you can see, if you can find it, it's at the very bottom of the screen, a little tiny chick there at the very bottom towards the turkey's tail. I wanted to show you how amazingly well they camouflage when they're moving through the bushes, and especially how small they are compared to their moms. They really do have a lot of growing to do, and they do grow pretty fast. It's pretty amazing how fast they grow. And I know I did another program earlier on turkeys just a month or so ago as part of one of our Facebook Live programs, so you could see the difference between males and females. But as they grow, they start to look more like the parents. The males, when they start to grow, especially that first year, they don't have the beards yet, so sometimes they can be mistaken for females until they start getting bigger and until they start growing their beards. But this is a picture showing you just how small those babies are compared to the mom. And then here's another picture that I zoomed in really close to get those babies so you could see them. Their coloration again is quite a bit different than mom, but you can see how those colors help them blend in really well with the grass. The browns and the yellows help them blend in a lot better, and that's why they have those colors, is to help them blend in. So these chicks, they are able to walk and feed themselves within 24 hours of hatching. So they are ready to go pretty quickly. And the female will she'll lay on the nest most of the time at night for the first 2 weeks. She'll brood the chicks at night for the first 2 weeks after hatching. And so she'll stay on her nest with them for a couple weeks. And these young turkeys, as they grow, they stay with the mom through the fall. at least the males do, and the early spring for the young females. And then they'll eventually spread out and form other groups, form bigger groups. Okay. So this next video that I have here to show you are the bluebirds that I was telling you about earlier. So in our meadow, we have, and actually in various locations around the Nature Center property, we have bluebird nest boxes. And this is a compilation of videos that I had taken of these bluebirds recently going in and out of their nest boxes. We do a bluebird monitoring project where it's a national project, and volunteers and staff, they'll go and they'll check the nests. They'll record how many eggs. They'll record if another type of bird is nesting in there. And we do this because bluebirds are one of those birds, because they like the prairie meadow type habitat, are struggling a little bit because these are habitats that we are destroying in a lot of areas and getting rid of. So that's one reason why we're trying to restore our meadow and give these bluebirds a chance, which is really exciting. We removed a lot of autumn olive, which is an invasive species in the meadow this past year, and we just started putting some new native plants in the meadow, and it's really exciting to get to see these bluebirds nesting in the boxes. Now in this video you can actually see the male and female bluebird coming to and from the box, and they were very watchful of me when I was taking these videos. They were both watching me carefully. They would land on the top of the box, watch me, try to decide if they thought it was safe for them to go into the box. The female is not quite as bright as the male. This is, I believe this is the female here. The male has more blue, is a darker kind of richer blue on the head. It looks like these bluebirds were bringing their young some different types of bugs. This is something that has wings. I had a hard time telling what it was. I saw them take caterpillars to them, to their babies as well. So bluebirds they're generally monogamous, but some studies have shown that more than one female or male are involved in some broods. So monogamy is not always the case necessarily for this species. Oh, you can see her. She just took some sort of caterpillar, I think, into the nest there. So a mature female will normally raise around 2 broods each season. So in these nest boxes, you might see them nest a couple of times. And they'll have about 3 to 7 eggs per season. I want to say that this nest had, I think, 3 babies in it from the staff member that was checking these nests. This is a great project that you can be a part of, the bluebird monitoring. If you want to help out here at the Nature Center, you can contact us and find out how you can help us with this project. You can do it at other places. Just reach out to different nature centers. A lot of places do this. So as you could see in this video, one of the things that I really enjoyed about watching this video is you could tell that both parents had a part in raising the young. They were both going to the nest box, taking insects, going in and checking on the babies. So it's really neat to get to see both of the male and female take care of those babies. Okay, so moving on from birds, we do have reptiles that we see nesting here at the Nature Center. And in fact, this is a snapping turtle, a common snapping turtle, and they are pretty common. We do have them around here at the Nature Center. We see them all the time during the warmer months. Last year, this is a picture of a snapping turtle that was laying a nest right up by the building, right by the sidewalk. Remember, I was mentioning earlier that animals don't always nest and lay eggs where we think is the best place for them, but they choose areas that they like. So she laid the nest, and what the females do is they make a hole in the ground, they dig a burrow, they lay their eggs, and then they leave. So here you'll see a very quick video of her laying her eggs. There you go. So it was really neat to get to see that. And then they leave. So this is her leaving the area after the nest. So this is one time that we're likely to see things like turtles moving around is when the females are looking for a place to lay their eggs, and then they go back to where they're living, which snapping turtles live in the water. So once they lay their eggs, that's it. The mom doesn't have any more of a role in raising those babies. So the babies, she covers up the nest, and then months later, usually in the fall or early fall sometime, the babies will hatch out. So yes, turtles are slow. So here is a video of the babies after they hatched out. It was really exciting to get to see them. They're very, very small. You can see here their size, a lot smaller than these leaves. And you know, they'll lay 30, 40 eggs. And you know, the reason they lay so many is not all of these babies survive. As you can see, they're very small. So there are a lot of predators that might eat them. And they have a journey to make. So once they come out of that nest, they climb their way out themselves out of the nest that the mom laid. They have to make their way back to the water, because like this little one is doing here. So last year when this nest finally hatched out, we had people coming inside actually saying, we see something out here. You know, some people thought they were like clumps of dirt, which they're so small they do look like clumps of dirt. So we went out, and sure enough, the babies were coming out of the nest. So we actually put up some signs, some turtle crossing signs. So that way, as people were walking along the sidewalk, they were careful not to step on them, because these turtles were going to try to make their way back down to the pond. And they do instinctively know where they're supposed to go to get to the water. So I think I've mentioned this in an earlier program, but if you see a turtle crossing a road and you're trying to help it out, and you're being very careful, it's always important to move the turtle in the direction that it's going, because they know where they want to go. And if you move them away back in the other direction, they're just going to turn themselves around and go right back into the street, because they know where they're going. So it's important to move turtles in the direction that they're going. So these babies, they knew where they were going. All right, another fun animal that we see around here at the Nature Center are groundhogs, and these are the groundhog babies. I want to say this was probably about 2 weeks ago that I got this video. They routinely come out and have babies around the Nature Center. There is a groundhog den, not a burrow, not far from the Nature Center building, and we see babies pretty much every year. So when I was taking this video, I saw about 5 babies back there. They look just basically like miniature groundhogs. They're pretty small. And it really is amazing watching them, just how quickly they pick up on those instincts of running away really fast if they hear or see anything. You know, mom is around, but they do a lot to take care of themselves. They know that when there's danger that they shouldn't stick around. So I had to watch them and video record them very quietly. Otherwise, those babies were going to take off. Woodchucks, they do have multiple mates per season. And males actually come out of hibernation earlier than females in order to establish the territories and also their hierarchies amongst each other, and to search for mates. Otherwise, woodchucks are mainly not very social. And during breeding season, the male and female interactions are pretty limited to breeding. And the breeding usually occurs pretty soon after the hibernation is done in the spring. So female woodchucks will give birth to about 1 to 9 offspring. Average is about 3 to 5 pups. And like I said, the pups become independent very quickly. They learn that those instincts very fast. So won't be long before these babies are not hanging out with mom anymore. They'll leave their mom usually around 2 months of age. after they're born, the females are the ones that provide all of the care for the woodchuck babies, not the males. And the pups will nurse for about 40 days, 45 days. And like I said, they'll become independent around 2 months of age. But sometimes the young females will inherit their mother's den. Woodchucks, they generally, especially with their first couple years of life, don't necessarily live terribly long lives. I would say the range for their lifespan is about 2 to 6 years in the wild. In captivity, it's about 10 years, which is high for them. But as you probably have noticed, that they do a lot of times get hit by cars. They are prey to other predators that might want to eat them, like coyotes, for example. So they have a lot to try to protect themselves from, and if they can make it past that first year, especially as babies, then they'll have a better chance. But that's one reason why those babies are so good at hiding and getting away. That instinct tells them to get away from any threats. While this video is going, I'm just trying to check the comments here to see if anybody has left any other questions. Let's see here. Although I'm not sure that it's updating. It looks like my connection is not very good. So again, if I'm not able to answer your questions while we're doing this program, I'll answer them after the program for sure. So a lot of people find woodchucks to be pretty annoying. They do sometimes make their dens, their burrows in areas that are not very convenient. We have a woodchuck family that it has their den right back behind our house, and I actually quite enjoy seeing the babies and seeing them grow. But you know, obviously sometimes they're not always in the best place. Okay. And last but not least, we're going to talk about deer. A lot of people, like I mentioned, are seeing fawns right now. This is some video from last summer, and we believe that one of the does out here had triplets, which is extremely rare to see triplets. Most of the time, you're going to see one, maybe two. Twins are not terribly uncommon, but less common. And we do believe last summer that there was a set of triplets that a doe had. We do have a lot of deer here at the Stage Nature Center, and the fawns are starting to show up right now. Now, this is some video that I took of a fawn that actually was not far from the building, and I wanted to show you this video so you could see what fawns do, especially when they're very young, most of the day. A lot of people will find fawns curled up like this in their yard, and most of the time the fawns are barely moving. You can barely even tell they're alive. People will get worried because they'll see them and they'll think that they're not alive because they're not moving. But that's actually, again, instinct. They're trying not to move because they're trying not to attract predators. Now, when fawns are born, they don't have a scent. And the mom will get rid of all of the afterbirth so that way the fawns don't have that scent. So the doe cleans them up very well so that way they're not attracting predators. That's one reason it's important not to pick up a fawn. It's not because you're afraid that the mom will abandon the fawn. It's because you don't want to give a scent to the fawn that a predator might find. So the does, they will not abandon their fawns because a human has touched them. But if you touch them, then you're more likely to attract a predator to them. So the best thing to do is if you see a fawn laying in your yard, more likely than not, Mom has left it there because she feels it's a safe spot for them, and she will come back to them later in the day. Mom will leave their fawns up to 10 hours. So the moms will go take care of what they need to do, maybe rest throughout the day, and they will come back to nurse them. So if you're not sure if a fawn has been abandoned, it's a good idea to just kind of watch, give them their distance so that way they don't feel like they have to run from the spot that they're in. but see if mom comes back eventually. If you know, a lot of times they come back during the dark, during nighttime hours, so you might not see the mom come back to them. So the best thing to do is the following day check to see if that fawn is in the exact same area, and looks like it hasn't moved at all. Some other things to look for is, of course, if it's bleeding or it has an open wound. If it's covered in fly eggs, that can be a good indication that, yes, it has been abandoned, because then mom is not taking care of it. If it's cold or if it's wet, it could mean that it's been there a long time, especially if it's crying nonstop, and that's also another indication that mom hasn't been there. This is typically the position you'll see a baby or a fawn in, is kind of curled up like this. If they look weak and they're lying on their side, that could be another indication that something is wrong. So if any of these situations are the case, then you should contact a wildlife rehabilitator. As I mentioned earlier, always make sure you call first. And you don't want to try to chase a fawn yourself to capture it, because the stress of being chased can actually be very dangerous to the fawn. It zaps a lot of their energy. And you don't want to try to give them food or water, because that could actually make them sicker as well. So if you're, after observing them for a while and you're not seeing any of these other signs, then you can contact a wildlife rehabilitator. And again, it's always important to contact somebody first rather than moving that fawn, because the moms are going to do the best job of taking care of them. A lot of animals don't survive in human care if they're being raised as babies, because we just don't do as good of a job as their own moms do. So we want them to stay with their mom if mom is still around taking care of them. And again, like I said, you don't want to pick them up, because then you're leaving a scent on them that could attract predators, that if the fawn is okay and you put it back, then you're more likely to have a predator come around. So it's really important to keep this in mind. So let's see here. One more video here. So this is a fawn here at the Nature Center. Now, the deer here at the Nature Center are very used to people. We get a lot of people here at the Nature Center, and so the deer are very used to people. And so a lot of the fawns will also become very used to people, especially as they get older, and it's not uncommon to see them walking right up to you. When they're really small, when they're babies, a lot of times they're hidden, which is why we haven't been seeing a lot of the fawns lately, because they're all still so very young, although people are starting to see them more on the trails. Don't feed them, don't pet them, because we don't want them to get used to being touched and fed by people, because we want them to try to keep that natural fear. The more used to people they are, the more they put themselves in harm's way, and they don't know how to find their own food, or they're more likely to get hit by a car because they're searching out people. So it's fine to watch them from a distance, but then just make sure that you're not getting too comfortable and trying to feed them or handle them. So hopefully you all saw that, because it looked like it froze up here at the end. Let's see here. And if somebody wants to let me know if they're still hearing me, sorry to ask you that again, but it looks like my video has frozen up, so I just want to make sure I'm still connected. Somebody asked, oh, this is about the baby turtles. Do the baby turtles find their mother once they find the pond? No, for the turtles, the moms don't do any more care after they've laid the eggs. Once the turtles find the pond, they are on their own, and they can still be threatened by other animals. Even once they reach the pond, other animals might eat them. Some fish might eat them, birds might eat them. There's a lot of different things. So that's one reason why turtles lay so many eggs, because a lot of those babies unfortunately don't make it, but hopefully some do. Okay, I am going to switch back over to the camera here. And hopefully you guys are still connected. Let's see. Oh, I hear people saying hearing. Yes. Okay, awesome. My computer kind of froze up there again for a second. So, so I hope this gave you all some different pieces of information. Again, a lot of times baby animals are not abandoned. Another one that I didn't have anything to show you today with were the rabbits. A lot of people will find baby rabbits and they'll think that maybe they're abandoned. Now, baby rabbits, they do depend on their mom for a little while, and it's important that you're not trying to take them away from their moms as well. Now, a few years ago, I had a really fun experience at our house. It was in the spring, and we had left a pile of leaves outside of our house, and my husband was getting ready to rake the rest of those leaves up to clean up since it was getting warmer. Well, as my husband was raking these leaves up, all of a sudden he sees these little baby bunnies hopping out of a nest. They make these kind of little indentations in the ground, and that's where they leave their babies. So he comes running inside, and he comes to get me, and he brings me outside, and sure enough, these little babies some of them had hopped out of this little indentation in the ground, their nest. Some of them were still in the nest. So I actually, I scooped them back up, and I put them back in their nest, and we covered them back over with the leaves. And we actually left the leaves there through the season until we were sure there weren't any more baby bunnies nesting there. And then it was a lot of fun because we could see Mom taking care of the babies from the house. We could see her nursing the babies as they got bigger. So one way you can tell if baby bunnies have been abandoned from their mom is if the area around the nest hasn't been disturbed. So Mom, just like the deer, she'll leave throughout big part of the day to leave the babies to themselves, and then she'll come back. Usually you'll see the mom at the nests at dusk and at dawn is when you're most likely to see them. Deer and rabbits are what we call crepuscular, which means that they are most active at dusk and at dawn. So those are the times of day you're most likely to see them with their babies. So one thing you can do if you're not sure if the mom is still coming to the nest, maybe something happened to the mom, is you can line the nest maybe like with sticks in a circle. And if it doesn't look like it's been disturbed the next day, after 24 hours or so, then that could be a sign that mom is not coming. You can also put some kind of powder down, like you can put flour down around the nest. And if mom is still coming, you may not see her come because it might be after dark. But if that powder is disturbed the next day, then you know that she's probably visited the nest. So that's another way you can tell if they've been abandoned. But, again, first and foremost, with any of these animals, birds, squirrels, rabbits, deer, the best thing you can do if you're not sure is call a wildlife rehabilitator, call a place like the Stage Nature Center, give us the details, explain the situation, and we can help you figure out if we think that the animals have actually been abandoned. And sometimes it's just kind of waiting and seeing, giving them their space to see what is going on. But unlike our babies, a lot of wildlife babies are not with their moms that much throughout the day. A lot of wildlife babies spend a lot of time away from their mom. So that's one reason why humans are so concerned, because obviously we wouldn't leave our babies alone like that. But a lot of wildlife babies, they are designed to be left alone. Their instincts tell them what they need to do to stay safe, to stay camouflaged, stay still until mom comes back. And so it's a little bit different than human babies. And I think that's one reason we get so concerned, which is, great that we get concerned, but it's also very important that we make sure before we potentially separate the babies from their moms, that there actually is something to be concerned about. So never hesitate to give us a call, to contact a wildlife rehabilitator with the Michigan Department of Natural Resources, and they will give you the correct information as well. So I hope you all enjoyed seeing some of these videos that we've taken of the wildlife babies around the Nature Center. Again, I'm going to go back through the comments after I disconnect here to see if I missed any of your comments. Thank you for hanging in there with me while my presentation froze up again. I know this happened just recently. I apologize for that, but I hope you all were able to still see some of the videos. If not, if you had to leave, you can see this video on our website afterwards, stagenaturecenter.org, or you can go back to our Facebook page and see the videos. They're all posted on there as well. Otherwise, like I said, we are open, so come and visit us. We're excited to see you. Make sure you're wearing a mask. I am not wearing a mask right now, but I am in a small room in the building here where I've got the doors closed, so I'm confined in a space where I'm not around other people, even though the building is open. So I've got my mask so that way when I go back around public, I'm going to put my mask back on. But right now I'm in a space where there are no other people around me. So make sure you have your mask when you come visit us. Enjoy the trails, and I hope to see you all soon. So thank you so much for hanging in there with me, and I will look for questions after I finish here. All right, well, I hope everybody has a wonderful rest of the day. I will see you again on Friday for another live Facebook program. All right, take care. Bye.